The Bathurst Massacre/War. The Bathurst War were eligible as a list of battles fought by the Aboriginals and British from between January of 1824 to December of the same year. One of the incidents which played a large part of this was the potato farm incident. A white farmer had given some of the Wiradjuri people some potatoes, so the next day, without any notion or concept of privacy or ownership, they helped themselves to some potatoes. When the farmer had seen this, he had massacred most of them with a rifle. The event was the cause of Windradine and his warriors to start attacking the whites. They used their guerrilla tactic to sneak upon a house with the intent of battle, but soon left when the man had filled up their hole of misunderstanding. Soon after, they had started rampaging as they went and attacked places such as the mill and Warrangunya. Some of the things they done were burning buildings, spearing men, weapons stolen, and many more. This continued until the martial law was placed in August 14, and this did not affect them, as the proclamation of martial law was as undecipherable to the natives as Egyptian hieroglyphs. September 10 was when the real war or massacre had begun, when the Aboriginals invaded Kujugong River and left with more than 20 of their people injured or dead. This is the location of the Bathurst Massacre in New South Wales of Australia. The Kuninla-Ringo Massacre. On October of 1781, the Kuninla-Ringo Massacre had taken place. This was an important event for the Aboriginals, as this is called the largest massacre of the white British by the Aboriginals. Another name for this is also called the Wills Tragedy. Around 50 miles away from Kuninla-Ringo, which is located in Queensland, the water holes which were being used by the Aboriginals had been poisoned, and many others were being evicted from stations and river camps. This had provoked the Aboriginals to start a massacre against the white people. This had provoked the Aboriginals to start a massacre against the white people, as more than 200 of their tribesmen had passed away. This was also when they were coming to Kuninla-Ringo and killed them while the Australian natives were fleeing to Mount Wandoo. So they considered this massacre payback. This is the location of Kuninla-Ringo Massacre in Queensland on the map. The Mile Creek Massacre. The Mile Creek Massacre occurred on Sunday the 10th, 1838. It took place when a gang of stockmen led by a squatter mercilessly slaughtered a group of Aboriginals. There were 11 gang men who had murdered 28 of the Aboriginal men, women and children while they were peacefully camping. The reason for the significance of this massacre was because this was the first time men were charged and hanged for murder of the Aboriginals. It was so thoroughly investigated, so there was a lot of information and evidence of this massacre and other massacres. This is the location of Mile Creek Massacre in New South Wales.
Coniston Massacre. In 1928, the Coniston Massacre took place. It was the last documented Indigenous massacre in Australia. A Dingo trapper by the name of Fred Brooks was found dead, and near his lifeless body was a few traditional tools that were believed to belong to different tribes near the area. Over the next couple of months, over 60 Aboriginal tribesmen were killed. All the events combined were called the Coniston Massacre. It's believed that many Aboriginal women were taken by force, as they were either taken to work as slaves in a white master's house or to be forced into arranged marriage. It was said that Fred Brooks was killed by an indigenous man named Bullfrog. The reasoning behind the murder was that Fred Brooks took Bullfrog's wife by force and sexually harassed her. This is the location of Coniston Massacre. Appin Massacre. Many people grew up in the town of Appin. Most of them unfamiliar with their history and what their ancestors were. Appin has a history like none other. On the 17th of April 1816, a raid was organized by Governor Macquarie. The raid its aim was to depossess the indigenous tribe of Darawal of their land and move them to centers where they would be modernized. The raid, however, ended up in a mass murder of indigenous men, women and even children were slaughtered by the British. The amount of indigenous men slaughtered that day was unknown, but 14 bodies were recovered before the search was called off by James Wallace of the 46th Regiment. Those who survived were sent to camps where they were forced to abandon their old culture and adopt the European culture. This is the place of Appin Massacre. Mount Cottrell Massacre. On the 2nd of July, 5 indigenous people were accused of murdering a squatter, Charles Franks, and his partner, Thomas Flinders. They were said to have set up a tent with their business partner, George Smith, who left shortly after in search of supplies from the port. When he returned, he found Charles Franks and Thomas Flinders both dead in the tents, with all the supplies being stolen. It was believed that the Aboriginals were involved in this, as the two bodies were said to have died due to a tomahawk blows to the head, and their dog had a boomerang halfway through its body, with the other end sticking out. At the dawn of 16th July 1836, a party of 17 men were sent out with muskets. The party managed to find the location of the Aboriginals. It was said that British only killed the 5 indigenous people, but Aboriginals say that as many as 35 tribe members died in the incident. This is the area of Mount Cultural Massacre near Victoria. References.
The end.